Welcome to my latest Warhammer 40k battle report. Today we have got some hot chaos on chaos action for you as my Death Guard warband, known as the end of all things, seek to convert some more chaos worshippers to our cause using the persuasive power of bolt gun and blades. But before we go any further, I have to shout out this lovely new scenery that I have before me. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com, but all the scenery that you see, the sandbags, the bunkers, even my objective markers, and these lovely buildings, towering buildings, are all from marchofwar.co.uk. Fighting on tables that look as cool as this is just really immersive, so thanks James for sending it through to me. And I look forward to seeing what else you do with the range and what more wonderful ideas you come up with. And we welcome to the channel a new challenger, Inchin. Say hi, Inchin.
Hi, Inchin.
And you've brought along a lovely Chaos Space Marine force converted for some Primera stuff. Conversions all over. What's going on there?
Well, Chaos have got some lovely models and whatnot, but there's one thing I don't like about it is that they're a little bit shorter than Primera, and I always think that your villains and your heroes should be on the same level fighting each other.
So you thought you'd get some of the new stuff, put some spikes on them, and here we are.
Essentially.
And here is, just under 2,000 points of Chaos Space Marines, the Sovereign of Shadows. So Chaos Space Marines have dark packs and things, yes?
Yes.
So what happens is you can give certain things well, you can dark pact up, and when you dark pact up, you roll a leadership test, and if it fails, you take some wounds, but regardless of whether it fails or passes, you then either get exploding sixes or lethal hits. Lethal hits or sustained hits. And you can give them marks. So instead of it going off on sixes, it can go off on fives. And then if you're next to a Hellbrute, it'll go off both of them. You'll give you both sustained and lethal. Yes? Did I get that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Finally. I got something right. Would you like to talk us through what you've got?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So leading the force today, I have my character, Rethebius, who I'll be running with the stats of Cypher.
Okay.
So he can essentially, he's a lone operative. He can shoot with both a plasma pistol and his normal pistol, which have sustained hits 1 naturally. His abilities are, if he's within 3 inches of another unit, he can shoot back, but himself is included in that. And his other ability is he can make one of your stratagems more expensive by 1 CP, but I think it's only a battle tactic one. Okay,
so the plan is to have him close to other units so they can shoot back?
In theory, but his range is only 12, so you can kind of avoid it, but it does come off now and again.
Welcome, Cypher / Refarius. Who else we got?
We just have a humble, he hasn't been named yet, he hasn't earned one yet, but this is a sorcerer. Their thing is that they have an ability called Prescience, which gives their unit, as long as they're leading it, -1 to hit.
Right.
And they also have another ability where if they hit something with their psychic weapon, whether it be ranged or melee, you have to take a battle shock test. If you fail it, it will give an additional 1d3 mortal wounds. Okay.
So, Cypher / Refarius, he's lone operative, he's not joining anyone.
He is not, no.
The Libby -1 to hit can join someone who's
he can join, and he will be joining the Chosen, just here.
Okay. Unit Chosen. 3 wounds, they can move, shoot, advance, fall back.
That's the one.
Very, very quick.
They do a lot of work. Yeah, they do a lot of work.
Have you loaded them up?
So, because they are converted from Stern Guard, I've essentially made the heavy bolter just a combi bolt. Well, not a combi bolter, the one that shoots once at ballistic skill 4.
Okay.
There's another one here who's got the plasma. Everyone else has just got bolters. They have cursed weapons each.
Yep.
And he has a power fist.
Power fist, nice. And Libby joined them, so they'll be -1 to hit.
They'll be -1 to hit, yes.
Okay. Who's this lovely lady down here?
That is my Demon Princess Akesh.
Okay.
So I'll be running it as the flying variant, so she can move 12 inches. She has the Mark of Nurgle, which gives her +1 toughness. Her abilities are, if she charges a unit, depending on how many wounds she's got, but she starts off with 10, she rolls dice for each one, and on a 4-up, she inflicts a mortal wound on the squad.
Is there a cap on that?
There is. It caps at 6 wounds.
Up to a max, so potentially up to 6 wounds on the charge.
That is the one.
Brutal.
I've also gave her an enhancement, which is the Orb of Unlife, which I've gave her the Mark of Nurgle. And what that does, at the end of the fight phase, any unit within 6 of her On a 4 up, this is enemy unit, sorry.
Yep.
On a 4 up, they take D3 mortal wounds. But if she makes Dark Pact that turn, it becomes a 3 up instead of a 4 up. So a potential lot of mortal bombs essentially from there.
So 6 inches, fight phase, mortal wound bombs.
Yes, in theory.
So stay away from her or shoot the crap out of her.
Yes.
Okay, a mark of Nurgle on her. Did you put a mark on the Chosen?
A mark on the Chosen is also Nurgle, and naturally it means the sorcerer also has to have Nurgle because they have to be combined essentially.
What else we got?
We have good old humble legionnaires.
Okay.
So essentially, just like Chaos Space Marines, their thing is that they get to re-roll a wound roll of 1 in close combat.
Yes.
And that's about it, really. If they're on an objective, they get to re-roll all wounds.
Okay.
Equipment-wise, this squad, they have a cursed weapon. Everything else is just bolters.
Yep.
And they're just all bolters. 2 5-man squads.
2 units of legionaries.
That's the one.
In the back, over here, we've got 2 units of Khorne Berserkers.
Yes. So these are technically allies. So they do get the Heretic Astartes keyword, but they cannot use Dark Pacts, unfortunatately.
Okay.
But they still get their Blood Surge ability, and you can still use stratagems on them. So Blood Surge is, if you manage to kill one of the units, they get to move D6 towards the closest enemy.
Shoot one and kill one. Potentially, out of turn, they could move forward and enter combat.
Yes.
And they're Khorne Berserkers. I mean, you don't give them a mark, but the Khorne Berserkers have just got volume. Lots and lots and lots of attacks.
Yes. They're just a fun unit.
Okay, we have a unit of Chaos Terminators.
Chaos Terminators, yes. So they are quite similar to normal Terminators stat-line-wise, with 2 up saves and toughness 5. They're all equipped with Power Fists, save for the Sergeant, who has a cursed weapon.
Yes.
Their rule is, if they make a Dark Pact, they get to reroll all the hit rolls.
All the hit rolls all the time.
That's the one.
Cool. Mark on them?
Oh, the mark on them, I believe, is... It was Nurgle on them.
Nurgle on them.
They have Nurgle as well.
Over here, some Possessed.
Possessed, yes. So they're quite a combat-heavy unit.
Right.
They move 9 inches. Their ability is, if you make a Dark Pact with them,
yes,
they get to... that's it. They get devastating wounds on 6s.
Okay.
Which is quite nice.
Okay, and they're a bit tougher, they're a bit quicker. I think they got 3 wounds as well.
Yes, I gave them the Marcus Lanesh as well, so they'll get exploding hits. And there's also potential stratagem shenanigans to make them advance and still get a charge. Well,
talking about potential stratagems shenanigans, you were telling me about these afterwards. These are your obliterators.
Yes.
I love it. Centurions as obliterators. You've given them Mark of Tzeentch.
I have indeed.
Which gives you the opportunity to heal them or put an obliterator back in and it dies.
Yes. It's a little bit gay. It's probably not actually the most ideal way to build them, but I just thought it was quite fun to see one reconstruct itself should one go down. Yeah.
Use every single ability that is available to you. That's we have a Land Raider popping around as well.
Yes.
We have a Rhino popping around.
The Humble Hammer.
Hellbrute. What have you put on the Hellbrute?
The Hellbrute has a multi-melter and a heavy fist with a heavy flamer.
A Hellbrute and the fist, and then we have Mauler Fiend with a bajillion attacks, which will be charging forward all over the place. And that's got a mark as well. There's marks all over the place.
Marks everywhere.
But you remember where they are and who's got what.
I do, hopefully, yeah. Luckily I do, yeah.
So we'll talk about them in-game as it happens. So, a nice foot-based mixed Chaos Space Marine force. Obviously, these Marines, they were shown a new religion. They were shown a new way of thinking about things. And they just need to be pushed a little bit further and embrace the end of all things, and then everything will be perfect. And here is my Death Guard warband, the end of all things. All you have to do to join us is you're worshipping Chaos, you're worshipping Khorne, blood for the blood god, skull for the skull thrones. All you have to say is, after those words, and your devotion is, and now is the time of the end of all things as well, just say the words. Just say the words. Make that part of your chant. Join us.
Be one of us. You have to defeat me first.
Well, we will convert you through bolt, gun, or blade. We will convert you, because now is the end times. Now is the time of the end of all things, and there are power in words in the universe of Warhammer 40k. So I have 3 times 3, the blessed number, and 3 times 7 times 3 times 7s and 3s all over the place, except for the Foulblight Spawn and Fluffy, my Demon Prince over here. We have sticky objectives. That's the thing that we have. We also have contagions. So it's 3 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches from turn 3 onwards. And while you're in contagion range, your toughness goes down, and then according to the fact, you pick another ability as well as the reduced toughness, and the one that I always like to pick is the reduced armor. So basically, the closer you get to the Chaos Space Marines, if you get in contagion range, your toughness goes down and your armor starts to corrode and rust and break, and they can be quite painful. I have given Fluffy my Demon Prince, the Deadly Pathogen upgrade, which means he's got extra strength and attack, which is nice. He'll also give the infantry a 6-up Feel No Pain if he's within 6 inches of them. And then 3 crawlers, 3 haulers, 3 drones, 2 shooty drones, one with plague spitters, the others with the heavy blight launchers, zipping forward all over the place. Foul Blight Spawn. He does have Fight First, and he's going to join one of the unit of Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines? Plague Marines. Plague Marines.
You're welcome to join with Levius.
No. And 6 units, 7 guys. In each one, there are 2 heavy plague weapons, 2 plasma guns, and a blight launcher. Yes, that's what's in every single one. There's lots of lethal hits in these... in the Chaos Space Marines as well for their bubotic bolters or in close combat. So 6s to hit, auto wound a lot of the time with the Plague Marines, which I like. On top of contagions and -1 armor save. Just volume of bodies can be a force multiplier when playing with the Death Guard. And today we're going to be playing Purge the Foe on the Crucible of Battle with Chilling Rain. That means we've got these janky deployments running along here and here because it fits the scenery that I've put down. Don't know who's deploying on what side yet. And Purge the Foe is quite simple. You need to control more and hold more. So in the command phase from turn 2 onwards, you'll get 4 VP if you control an objective, and you'll get 8 VP in your command phase if you control more objectives than your opponent. And then at the end of each battle round, Inshin, so at the end of battle round 1, add up all the stuff that you killed, add up all the stuff I killed. Okay. If you kill one thing, you get 4 VP, but whoever killed more at the end of that battle round gets 8 VP. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
One last thing, I have to give a big shout out to all my members and patrons that help support me. And if you're not a member and you'd like an extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday, then become a tier 3 channel member and get your extra battle report. Plus, it's an easy, brilliant way to support me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's go on to deployment. So we're deployed for this game of Purge the Foe. What's going on here, basically, is I played Stylus with Purge the Foe recently, and it went down really well. I enjoyed it. So I wanted to play Purge the Foe again. So hopefully this is going to be very fun. I like the idea of just killing more, holding more. I'm spread entirely out across the line this way, and I've put a unit of Plague Marines in strategic reserves. You have your Terminators that are deep striking, your Demon is deep striking, and the Obliterators are deep striking in as well. The Possessed are inside the Land Raider, and Chosen inside... No.
I've got the Corn Berserkers.
Corn Berserkers in that one. Where are all the Chosen? The Chosen are down here?
The Chosen are amongst the sort of holding the centre here, so there's the Chosen squad there, and these just Legionnaires.
Okay. Obviously, ruins are a thing for completely blocking line of sight, but if you're in them, you can shoot in or out. Yes. So I've put a couple of my units behind the ruins, but there's also a couple of units inside my ruins as well, and this was just too good not to stand on. I had to stand there. I don't know how long. I don't know how long they're going to be there for, but I had to stand on that, overlooking the courtyard down below. Now we need to roll off to see who goes first. Do you want to go first?
Probably not, but I'll make do if
okay. Well, yeah. See what Zinch says. Yeah. I don't like Zinch very much. Zinch says 5. See, Zinch is going to give me lower because we're not on good terms. The end of all things get a 3, so it's Chaos Space Marines, turn 1. And the Chaos Space Marine faction, the Sovereign of Shadows, have been ordered to take the field, take the centre for area denial, and secure no man's land. Here we are after the movement phase for the Chaos Space Marines. Rhino rumbling all the way up the table, full of Corn Berserkers, and that will be area denial. Because they have that objective, and this objective with the Land Raider, that is also secure no man's land. So both of the secondaries achieved in this turn. And at the start of the shooting phase, the Land Raider can see that Mephitic Blight Hauler over there. This is going to be a lot of shots. You've got a Hellbrute nearby to buff it, so I'm not going to smoke screen or anything. I don't think he's long for this world. But are you dark packing it up?
It will definitely be dark packed.
Let's do the dark pack first.
Okay, so I need to get a leadership of 6.
You're fine.
That's okay, yeah.
And then we're starting the shooting phase with 4 las cannons.
4 las cannons, might as well go with the big one first.
Right then. 3s to hit.
Hitting on 3s. Obviously looking for the 5s and 6s ideally.
And there's 2 5s.
So they will be lethal.
And sustained.
And then sustained as well.
Because Hellbrute nearby.
Strength 12.
Toughness 10 or 9. You're wounding on 3s.
Okay.
And it's AP quite a lot.
Oh, am I?
But yes, many wounds. I have a 5-up demonic save, which helps me twice. But this will be 4d6 plus 4 on the damage roll.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a dead hauler. Does it go boom boom? It doesn't go boom boom. Then after the Land Raider fired out, range and line of sight is definitely a thing on this battle grid. So the only other thing that could fire was the Rhino spitting out some shots and no further damage caused. And that is the end of Chaos Space Marines turn 1. They pick up 10 points for their secondaries and they've killed Earth Thing. Let's find out how the end of all things respond in Death Guard turn 1. The Sovereign of Shadows are tempting me already. Don't tempt me, Frodo. This is my job to tempt you. My new religion. Tempting target. I'm not going to swallow that tempt. But storm or hostile objective, take an objective off the Chaos Space Marines, I can do that. This is the target that I have been tempted with and I refute at the end of the movement phase. But as for storm hostile objective, well, it turns out a drone has got a higher OC than a Rhino, and so I advanced it forward and now I've stormed a hostile objective. That's 5 points.
Yes.
I want to try and crack open that Rhino as well, because you've killed you get 4 points if you kill a thing. You get 8 points if you kill more things. And I've got lots and lots of infantry, the tanks around here. I've put myself on 1, 2, 3 objectives as well. Mind you, if I kill that Rhino, you'll get out with your Khorne Berserkers, and then I won't control that objective. And then you'll control more objectives than me.
That is potential. Yeah.
So I shouldn't kill the Rhino.
I'm not against it.
I'm not going to kill the Rhino because then I won't secure the thing. So I'm not going to kill the Rhino. We're just going to stay there instead. We're going to shoot our guns at other things. So we'll start down here. I'm going to start off with the drone firing in at these legionaries. Heavy Blight Launcher hits on 3s and those are lethal.
Nice.
And it is strength 8, so a wound on 2s. Yes. And it's -2 and there's no cover on nothing in the way. So it's just 4 5s coming up. And you make one of them.
1 damage.
2 damage each, so only 2 remaining. So we come across to the Plague Marines. You're getting cover from the pillbox in the way. So the Blight Launcher hits on 3s and wounds on 3s. But the -1 becomes AP dash because of the cover. So 3-up save.
He's okay so far.
And then there's 2 plasmas. So let's overcook. The trigger guard's quite sticky. One of them hits. One of them wounds. And this will be a 5-up save against an overcooked plasma. And one of them explodes. And then hazardous. And I don't explode with my plasma. It's sticky. I managed to free the trigger from the trigger guard. Now we have some bubotic bolters. Plague bolters on 3s. 6s are lethal. And then 4s. And that is 4 wounds. 4 3-up saves. 1 damage a time. Do I kill off the last? Do you need one of these?
Yes, please.
Kill off one of the last traitorous chaos space. Yes, no. No, he's still on a wound. So 1 dude left on a wound. And these Plague Marines are out of range. So the only thing that can hit it now, and I need to kill a thing, is this Plague Burst Mortar here. So let's fire indirectly for D6 plus 3 shots. For 4 shots. Ooh. Which hit on 4s, because I'm firing indirectly. 2 hits. Strength 8. 1 wound. 1 3-up save. And he's still alive. We're going to keep going. I mean, I did line this up to shoot at the Rhino, but there's no point in the Rhino. We talked about that. Let's fire the Plague Burst Mortar from the second one. This time I've got 6 shots. These hit on 4s, because it's indirect. 1 hit. 1's lethal. That wounds 2 wounds. AP -1 becomes AP dash. So 2 more 3-up saves. And finally, he gets exploded unless you command point it.
I might have to command point that one
Go
for CP. See how it goes. No.
Zinch abandons you. And because I'm not firing at the Rhino, mortar number 3 is going to come up and over and land on your Chaos Space Marines holding on to this home objective. I'm spending a CP on Ferric Blight. That gets my AP up by 1. And I have 4 shots this time. And these all hit on 4s and only get 1 hit. And it will wound on a 2. It wounds, -2 becomes -1 because loads of cover in the way. And I don't kill any. And that is the end of my turn. I'm not going to shoot. The only other guns I've got in line of sight and range will all rain down into that rhino, but that will stop me getting storm hostile objectives. So we're going to hold onto the trigger for now. Hold. And instead, just get up 5 points for just taking the thing. So at the end of battle round 1, we also get 4 points if we kill a thing. You killed a thing and I killed a thing.
We both killed a thing.
But no one killed more.
No.
So no additional points for killing more, and you're in range to start launching your counter assault as we go on to Chaos Space Marine's turn 2. Oh, one more thing. Also, I'm on 1, 2, 3 objectives. That's the other thing, because in command phase in turn 2, you pick up 4 points for being on an objective. And again, you'd have picked up 8 points for being on more objectives. If I'd have shot you out of there, I'm playing the long game here. So let's add up all the points and go on to Chaos Space Marine's turn 2. Adding up all the things, it's 18 points to the Sovereign of Shadows and 9 points to the End of All Things. And they want to investigate signals, the Chaos Space Marines. Check the corners of the battle grid, make sure there's nothing smelly sneaking in from behind, and bring it down. Kill vehicles up to a maximum of 8 points for grabs here. And there's many, many demon engines on the field. Here we are after the Sovereign of Shadows movement phase. On this flank, Possess come disembarking from this Land Raider here, ready to charge, and Chosen, well, they can advance and charge. They came busting through the building there. The Hellbrute close enough to give some buffs to both of these units. In the middle, the Rhino disgorged both of its units of Khorne Berserkers before it moved around to do a bit of move blocking. Pardon me. There'll be a bit of Overwatch coming in here. I've declared we shall be Overwatching. The Demon is still in reserve for now. However, the Terminators have deep struck in here and they're going to investigate signals, you've said.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot anything this turn. Instead, they're going to get a couple of points. And then next turn, they're going to be down. There's an objective there. There's lots of Plague Marines here. They can start influencing the game in later game turns. Vehicles can't move through ruins, but we both said that these bits here, these broken bits, are easy. And the Mauler Fiend ran round this way because you spent a CP on Unnatural Swiftness, which means you can re-roll advances, re-roll charges, and because you're Zinch, it allows you to advance and charge.
Yes. So normally it'd be a fall back and still be able to shoot and charge, but with Slanesh, Slanesh enables it to advance and then roll to charge as well. So
potential charge in this Mephitic Crawler over here, and the Obliterators have dropped in. So there's pressure on this flank. Pressure up the middle with the Khorne Berserkers. Pressure around this flank with the Land Raiders as well. All of a sudden, the enemy are deep within the End of All Things lines. And we're going to overwatch with this drone. And we're going to spit on those Berserkers down there. And the Plague Spitters auto-hit 3 times. Strength 6, but your toughness is down by 1 because of contagions. So I'm actually wounding on 2s.
Yes.
So they all wound, and it would be AP -1, but AP -2. Well, your armor save is reduced by 1, so 3, 5 ups to keep a guy alive. And I kill one of them, and one gets injured, and you may blood surge if you want to.
Yeah, I might as well. You don't often get to see it when you have them as allies. So
1d6.
1d6 movement towards closest enemy.
So after I kill a Khorne Berserker, they blood surge in and engage that fetid bloat drone. Now we go on to the shooting phase for the Chaos Space Marines. We're going to start the shooting phase down here with the Obliterators. They're targeting in at my Tonk, so I'm going to spend a CP on Cloud of Flies and -1 to hit. And then D3 shots each.
D3 shots each.
With the big gun version on their gun profile, which is 3 shots.
3 shots. Be hitting on 3s, but now hitting on 4s.
4s to hit. 2 hits.
Yes.
Toughness 10.
3s to wound.
They both wound.
They both wound.
4 up and save on one, and a 5 up on the other one. Okay, so they both get through. How much damage?
Flat 4 on each.
That's 4 damage left on the tank, but at least it's still alive. After the shots on the left, we came down to the middle where Khorne Berserkers fired in at this squad of Plague Marines here, killing one of them. Now we've come across to the Chosen on this flank, firing in at these Plague Marines, and you want to Dark Pact it up. Good luck.
Yes, Dark Pact. I will go for... They are marked with Nurgle.
Right.
So I will go for the Nurgle mark. So I'm going to go for Sustained. So I'll do this first. So they're okay, they passed. So I'll do the Combi Bolters first, hitting on 4s mysteriously.
Okay.
The 5s would be nice.
4s to wound, anti-infantry, 4 up. There's a wound.
It's a devastating wound.
Is it? Is it just one devastating wound?
Just one devastating wound.
I take a wound, remaining bolter fire. on the 3s. 5s to wound. 2 threat saves. I'm good.
So last but not least, we've got the Psyker.
Right.
Or the Sorcerer, I should say.
Yes.
And he'll be putting an overcharged blast into the same squad. It's
okay.
D6 shots for 3.
So 3 which fire shots hitting on 3s?
Hitting on 3s, but 5s will explode.
Yes. No 5s.
No explosions, just 2 hits. Strength 6, so it'll be 3s to wound, I believe.
Yeah.
2 wounds, 1 is devastating.
And it's 2 damage because you overcooked it.
D3.
Is it? Okay. So, well, D3 devastating, I don't get any saves on that. So let's find out how much damage that does.
For the mighty
that does
1.
Wound. And then I need a save on the other one, which I don't make.
So
D3 on the other one. Cool. So you kill 2 of them in the end. And because of the psychic attack, I need a battle shock test, which I fail, and then I did
D3 wounds, unfortunately. For 2.
Where are we?
Oh, it's just here, sorry.
It's another 2 wounds. Hellbrute can't fire, he's behind the ruins here. But we have this Land Raider left to fire now. So the heavy bolters, combi bolters, small arms coming into the Plague Marines.
Yes.
And the 4 las cannons, you can see you're going to try and thread the needle and kill this Plague Burst Crawler on 4 wounds remaining.
Yes.
It's still stealthed up though, so you're going to need 4s to hit him.
3s or 4s, because the
5 hits, 3s to wound. And that is 2 wounds.
And there's Dark Pact, which he does fail.
Right, he takes D3 wounds.
So he's lost 2 wounds.
He sacrificed his co-pilot, and then the 2 las cannons come through, loads of cover in the way, so these are 4-up saves. I failed them both. 2d6 plus 2 to this is a minimum of 4 damage. I've only got 4 wounds remaining, actually, so he's dead. And that one doesn't blow up either. Destroying that vehicle will get the Sovereign of Shadows Chaos Space Marine Warband 4 extra points in this Purge the Foe mission. And now we're coming on to the charge phase, because all the incidental fire from the Land Raider didn't even manage to scratch one of those Plague Marines. We have a 7-inch charge from these possessed into this drone.
We're going to go for it.
And that's a 5.
That is a failed charge.
Command boy?
No,
Why
I don't
not?
think so.
It's here, it's juicy target for you.
There's other charges that I think are more important than that one.
Okay. So the morphine round this side into this drone.
Yes.
This is a 7-inch charge, but you can re-roll it. That's what they do. And you need to re-roll it because that's a 4. And that is a successful charge. Crump the morphine makes it there. Down in the centre next to the statue, the 2nd unit of Khorne Berserkers charged that drone, so it is surrounded, and now we have the Chosen. They can advance and charge as well. That's what they do. It's a 9-inch charge into these Plague Marines that you shot up.
We're going to go for it and see how we get on.
And that's a 6. Come on, boy.
No? It wasn't meant to be.
So collapsed charges around this flank, but successful charges over here. I do have 2 CP to pay to interrupt, but I'm not going to bother. I mean, drones can't do anything very much. So let's start with the Morphine versus the Crawler. You're supposed to do Dark Pacts at the end of the attacks, but let's just do it now to see what happens. So
okay, so Dark Pact, I'm going to go with sustained hits on this one with the Slash Mark. He passes, so he's okay.
6 attacks with his fists, hitting on 3s. And 5s are sustained?
I believe so, yes.
3s to wound. Oh
wow.
That's just 2 wounds.
Just a 2.
5+ invulnerable saves. I make 1 fail 1. How much damage is the big Maul of Fist these days?
D6 plus 1.
Brilliant.
For the mighty 4.
It's got 6 wounds remaining. Here are the Lash Tendrils on 3s. 5s and 6s explode. There's a 5. 5s to wound with the Lash Tendrils. And this does 2 wounds. 4-up saves. I fail 1 of them. That's another wound on the Mauler, the Mephitic Blight Crawler. It's down to 5 wounds remaining, and it's still alive and in the fight. Whiffing those wound rolls really hurt there. Now we come on to the World Eaters, crawling all over that drone. No Dark Pacting, just hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s.
Just plain old volume. These are all the attacks before the heavy weapon comes in. Wounding on 5s. 3 4-up saves. The drone takes up wound. Then the Giant Axe on 3s. Misses every single time. Right, now it's on to defenders. So before your 2nd unit of Khorne Berserkers that blood surged into me get to fight, one of them's on a wound. So let's try and probe him with my Plague Probe, which hit on 3s, 6s are lethal.
Nice.
And because of your reduced toughness, these wound on 3s, and because of the reduced armour, you need 3 5-up saves. 1 damage a time, though. And I do probe the one guy who was injured, and another.
So that's 2 dead.
Then they fight back. Here's the heavy axe.
The eviscerator. Oh, this one actually hits this time.
Just 1 hit this time. What's the strength of an eviscerator?
Strength, I believe, is 7.
Okay, 5s to wound.
It does wound.
Does wound. 5-up invulnerable save, which I fail.
2 damage on that one.
Okay, I've lost 3 wounds in total so far, and then we have the attack from the last remaining dude, and he hits 3 times, and he needs 5s to wound. And he wounds another time, and I fail that save, and the drone is on 6 wounds remaining. Then we did the fight back with the Mephitic Blighthauler. I managed to actually put 2 wounds on the crawler. That crawler had loads of attacks, but loads of whiffs to wound. I feel like he was just popping pulpy flesh in a few spots. Didn't manage to break through. And that is the end of Chaos Space Marines turn 2. They do pick up 2 points for investigating signals there, and 4 points for taking down this tank that was here. And remember, you get 4 points for killing a thing, 8 points for killing more things. And the Chaos Space Marines have only killed a thing.
Not true.
As we go into Plague Marines, turn 2. Adding up the points, 13 points for the Plague Marines, 24 points for the Chaos Space Marines. So I'm 11 points behind, and I'm not cleansing anything. Disgusting. Instead, I want to deploy Teleport Homer either in the enemy deployment zone or in the centre of the battle grid. I do have a unit of Plague Marines that can strategically, that are in reserve, that could outflank, but I can't get them in the enemy deployment zone in turn 2. So that isn't going to happen. Instead, I'll just plonk one down in the centre. Okay, here we are after the movement phase, not cleansing anything. What heresy is this? Instead, drones, they can fall back and charge and stuff, and shoot. So he's fallen back out of combat with those Khorne Berserkers there and is deploying a Teleport Homer right in the middle of the battle grid. A winky, smelly Teleport Homer. And I need to kill all the Khorne Berserkers and that Rhino, and then I'll control more objectives than you, because you'll get 8 points at the start of your turn if you control more than me.
Yes.
And I've OC'd you off of this one by moving the second drone round that way. I've got this one, so then I need to clear you off of that one. And the other thing is, you're going to get 4 points because you killed a thing, but if I kill more thing, I get 8 points as well. So I might be behind in points, but I like this kill more, hold more rule of purge the foe. Round on this side, you've put Terminators down here, and this unit of 7 Plague Marines are not scared of them. They're going to go in.
I've seen what your Plague Marines can do to Terminators, actually.
They can be nasty. Particularly, I'm going to light them up with some drone power beforehand. These crawlers are going to shoot into combat, kill that thing, and I've got a tank that can shoot in and kill that thing as well. And then I've lined up all the firepower to throw down onto the Khorne Berserkers, but they can blood surge into combat, into the closest thing. So I need to make sure these are utterly killed before they fall back into that one. And these, if they want to come charging into Fluffy, good luck to them. Now, at the end of the movement phase, you did say a thing. What was the thing?
Yes, I'm going to go for the rapid ingress.
Okay.
I'm going to finally put Akesh, the Demon Princess, in.
Nice.
But I thought I was going to put it in the back lines, but I thought no. I feel like there needs to be demon on demon action, if you know what I mean. So
okay, so where's she going?
I'm going to plonk her just behind this building in preparation.
Okay.
It's out of sight, out of mind, if you know what I mean.
Because she's got wings.
She's got wings. She's got a good, decent movement to 12 inches. So hopefully on my turn, she should be able to swing around
and Fluffy will be right in the middle. So let's start the shooting phase. This thing firing at that thing.
Yes.
But you're in combat, so the multi-melter will hit on 4s. I hit once, and it would be wounding on 5s, but I get +1 to wound with Mephitic Blighthauler's against vehicles.
Oh, nice.
So I do wound you. 5 invulnerable save? No. Command point at all?
No.
Okay, so this is 6 + 2, which is 8 damage. That's a critical hit. It's on 2 left, and the missile launcher goes thunk and misses, and then the drone in close combat is going to rinse and repeat, do the same thing. The multi-melters hit on 4s, and one of them hits. Again, wounding on a 4. It doesn't wound. Missile launcher comes in and hits. Again, wound on a 4 because of the +1. That's a wound. -2 on the missile launcher, though, so 5 up invulnerable save, and this time you make it. Right, we're coming around here then. So the tank is going to fire its 2 entropy cannons in, and the mortar from the tank... Well, I'm staring at those 2 Khorne Berserkers right there. Yeah. Let's drop down all the small arms and all the things into them. But first, 2 entropy cannons. Both of them hit. Strength 10 versus toughness 10, but your toughness goes down by 1 because of contagions. So 3s. And I'm going to command point this because it's d6 plus 1 damage. Minimum 2, you're on 2 wounds left, right?
Yes.
So I just need you to fail 1 invulnerable save. So command point, no. So please fail 1 invulnerable save.
I'll try my best. It definitely fails. I'm not going to reroll that either.
Okay. Took it down eventually, but a bit disappointed from the Mauler Fiend. Normally they just run through stuff, but it bounced.
It bounced hard.
That's not good. Mortar up and over and down into these World Eaters. D6 plus 3 shots for 6 shots, which hit on 3s, and that one's lethal. These wound on 2s. -1 becomes -2 because of the thing, but statue back to -1, so 4. 4 up saves, each doing 2 damage.
Ooh.
Smush, they get melted to slag, and that's 2 units wiped out. That's my extra 8 points. So back to this tank over here. I know you can surge into Fluffy if I kill them, yes, but I want to hurt them. So and I can see you with this tank. So let's fire everything from this tank into the... He's got a bajillion attacks when he goes in, my Demon Prince, but you know, just in case he fluffs. Just in case Fluffy fluffs. Entropy cannons to the face. 2 of them hit. These wound on 2s. They both wound, and because of contagions at AP -4, so you won't get a save. It will wipe out 2 of them. And the mortar with blast has 5 shots, and one of them is lethal. And these wound on 2s. 4 wounds, and that is 4 more 5 up saves, sir. Each doing 2 damage.
Ooh, could be the squad.
There's 1 left alive.
There's 1 left.
1 Khorne Berserker remaining. Surge forward. Didn't manage to surge enough to get into my Demon Prince, tripping over the feet of his comrades. So let's finish him off. It saves me having to make the charge. Here's the Blight Launcher from the here's the plasma guns in rapid fire range. Obviously overcooking. And we hit twice. We wound on 2s. And we wound, and because of contagions, he's just wiped out. And hazardous checks. And I'm okay.
Oh, he thought he was being an epic hero. He had his axe ready. He was standing before Fluffy.
He was ready.
He was ready to become a Khorne Berserker of legend.
Yes.
And then someone from the building just...
This is very stinky and full of blood right now. That's all I know. So we've got some Chosen here. I've got these guys that can fire in, this drone that can fire in, and those. I've still got quite a lot of shots. Let's start putting some shots into the Chosen from this squad and from this squad on the balcony up here. What I'm going to do is add all the shots together because it's all happening at the same time. You're not CPing anything. No. It is -1 to hit you though because of Sorcerer. So 4s to hit with the Blight Launchers. That is lethal. This will wound on a 2 because you are in contagion.
Yes.
With modifiers, 2 4-up saves. And that is 2 wounds. Here's all the bolter weaponry. They're lethal. These wound on 3s because of contagion. And those are all 3-up saves because of cover.
Okay.
I take down the injured fella.
Ooh.
Then we've got plasma in rapid fire range from 1 squad and not rapid fire range from the other squad. So they all hit. These will all wound on 2s. 6-up saves with the modifiers. And that is another one dead. 1 goes down to 1 wound. Hazardous check on the closest squad. Hazardous check on the other squad. And I don't lose any. Good plasma discipline today. Inchen.
Yes.
You collect Dark Angels as well.
Yes.
Do you like my plasma fire?
I am very impressed with the plasma fire.
I've been practicing with the End of All Things. You know, they've gone to the firing range and everything.
It's just the plasma disciplines. It's almost bringing a tear to the eye.
It's good, isn't it? They put a bit of WD-40 on the trigger guards and everything. Right, we've got this drone. The only thing that it can see... I mean, I could shoot a rhino. Do I really want to shoot a rhino? No, I think I'm going to shoot at the obliterators over there. Actually, they're behind a ruin. I can't see them. I'm shooting at the rhino. Yep, I fired into the rhino. Put it down to 4 wounds remaining. We come across to this drone. Firing at your Terminators. Doing anything about this? You got that -1 to hit strat, right?
I have, and I might pop it on them.
You have got 1 CP sat there. Yeah, spending the CP on Dark Obscuration, we think it is. Comment below. So it's 4s to hit them, and that helped. I only hit that many times. And this unit are not in contagion range. So it is 3s to wound them. 2 at -2. Okay. And you make the saves. Okay, there's still a lot of Dark... this unit of Plague Marines is going to fire in it as well. Overcooking Plasma, 4s to hit. No, 2 hazardous checks. Perfect discipline so far. Here's the Blight Launcher. Both of them hit. This will be 3s to wound. 1 wound, 1 3-up save. No. That's 2 damage. Then Plague Bolt Gunfire rattles in and only hits twice. Wounds once, 1 2-up save against this shot.
Ooh.
And you're okay. So at the end of my shooting phase, I've helped clear out the centre. Some charges to consider. I don't really want to send a crawler into those guys. I could though. I could. I'll send a crawler into those guys. I don't really want to send these Plague Marines into the Chosen either, but I could. So let's do that. That's a 7. They're in. And I don't really want to send in this unit of Plague Marines into your Terminators, but I could.
You could.
So we're doing it because I want to introduce you to the end
I think that
of all things. Yeah, let's send this Mephitic Blight Hauler in as well. That's a 7. The Hauler makes the charge. You don't have any CP to interrupt, so it nibbles away. That one's lethal. Strength 6, but your toughness is down by 1. 2 wounds, 2 4-up saves. And that is 1 damage. Okay. Next, Plague Marines attacking Terminators. Spending a CP on Ferric Blight, which gets my AP up by 1. And Refurbius, aka Cypher. You're doing a thing?
Yes, he's using his once a game ability to make that stratagem cost 1 extra CP from now on.
From now on, yeah. It's one of my most useful ones. Anyway, let's fight. Here are my Plague Knives. I hit you on 3s. 6 is lethal. Strength 4, but your toughness is lower.
That's 5 should be to 4s now.
So wound you on 4s.
Yes.
And they would be AP dash, but your armour has been reduced.
Oh, no.
So lots of 3-up saves. And 1 was on a wound. Oh,
no.
1
dead, 2 dead. Oh.
So there's only 3 Terminators left when the heavy plague weapons come in. These will hit on 4s. And they're lethal. And then at strength 8 with your reduced toughness, I'm wounding on 2s.
Yes.
And they're all 4-up invulnerable saves. 4-up invulnerable saves, each doing 2 damage. And 1's on a wound. And he gets smushed. And there are 2 Terminators left. But we will return to this fight with the 2 remaining Terminators because I have my last charging unit, which are 4 Plague Marines trying to take on 3 Chosen. Let's find out how this works. So I'm hitting you on 4s because of prescience, because you're harder to hit, and that one's lethal.
Probably not hard enough to hit.
No, and I'm winning you on 3s because of contagions. So there you go. They're all 4-up saves.
Okay.
1 damage a time. 1's on wound. And he's still good. Then Plague Weapons of the heavy variety. 2 lethal, an extra wound. So they're all 6-up saves.
Oh, wow.
Because it's -2, becomes -3 because of the thing. And the injured guy dies. I do take 1 out. And we have 2 Chosen remaining with the Sorcerer who get to fight back.
You going to do Dark Pact?
Yeah, of course. What's the worst that could happen?
Probably go for lethals this time, I think.
Okay.
They're okay. So we'll do the guy with the cursed sword first.
Right.
He'll be hitting on 3s. Obviously, 6s will be lethal.
There's a lethal. Strength 5, toughness 5, 4s to wound. 2 wounds.
2 wounds, AP -2, but 1 damage each.
Okay, you kill 1.
Got the Power Fist coming up next.
Okay.
Once again, hitting on 3s.
Hit
No
with
explosions. Oh, no, lethal, sorry, but they all hit.
3s to wound, though. I am a Plague
You
Man.
are a bit tougher than usual. Tough enough to crack.
Okay.
3 AP -2, 2 damage each.
You kill 2 more. There's 1 remaining, and then the Sorcerer can strike out.
There's the Sorcerer remaining.
He hits once. Just once. Oh no.
Strength 6, so it'd be 3s to wound.
He doesn't even wound.
But it did hit, so that means you've got to take a battle test.
Right. And if I fail this, I take D3.
D3 wounds.
I fail my battle shock test.
Oh, no.
Will he kill him with Psychic Mastery? He doesn't. There'll be my champion stood there on 1 wound remaining.
I love it.
He refuses to die. He's handing out pamphlets. Come join the end of all things. And you're like punching him. No, get back. Okay, on to Terminators versus Plague Marines. Dark Pacting it up. 2d6. Good luck.
No, that's a fail.
D3 wounds at the end of the combat. Let's roll a D3 and see what happens, because 1's on wound. So, and his brain explodes, and you have 1 Terminator left on 1 wound at the end of all of this fight. Oh no. Here's the Power Fist. 3s to hit. And that works.
No, because he hasn't got the mark for it, so it's just 6s on that occasion.
Oh no,
yeah.
okay. 3s to wound.
3s to wound. Oh,
2 wounds. You kill one, you kill one, and then you got your accursed weapon. He hits twice.
But it does explode at least.
It does explode at least.
And then wounding on 4s,
it does, yeah.
5.
Wounds
2
twice.
wounds, 8d minus 2.
5 up saves. Okay, you killed 2 of them. So, in the corner, the Terminators that came in to investigate signals, there is only 1 remaining, surrounded by smelly filth. And now we're on to the Obliterators, trying to take apart this vehicle. 3s to hit with your fists. Strength 9, toughness 9, 4s to wound. 1 of the hits went back in because of Dark Pacting up. Those come through. I make both of my 5 up invulnerable saves, and now we need to do the result for the Dark Pact. And you pass it.
Okay.
And that is the end of the fight phase, and that is the end of turn 2. At the start of turn 2, there was a lot of pressure coming around this way with the Mauler Fiend and the Obliterators and the Terminators. I've handled that quite well. And I've handled the pressure in the middle quite well as well. I haven't touched the Possessed, and the Chosen are still free to fight. You've got a Hellbrute back here. A Demon just deep struck into the middle of the battle grid, and you're holding on to your backfield objective. Also, the Chaos Space Marines are winning on points. I only pick up 3 points for deploying that teleport homer, which makes it 16 to 24 in favour of the Chaos Space Marines. But at the very end of the battle round, I killed more. Injun killed Earth Thing, getting him to 28 points, but killing more gets me to 24. So it's quite close. 24 points to 28 in favour of the Chaos Space Marines. They pick up another 4 points at the start of turn 3 for being on an objective. 32 to 24 as we go to Chaos Space Marines turn 3. And now the orders for the Sovereign of Shadows is to engage on all fronts, and it's my turn to tempt you with a target. At the end of the movement phase, it looks like this. You spent the CP that you gained last turn for unnatural swiftness, allowing your Obliterators to fall back and shoot.
Yes.
And the other thing you did with them is OC me off of this objective
Essentially,
here.
yeah. OC 2 each.
Now, for engage on all fronts, they're in this quarter. You step him out because he's in this quarter and you don't want him dying.
Not just yet, at least.
You're in that quarter with your HQ, and so that'll be 3 points. But if the Possessed make the charge round here into the drone, you'll be into all 4 table quarters, and you're definitely ahead on points here. I'm going to spend a CP in the movement phase as well on Overwatch, because you want the central objective. I've made that the tempting target, and right now you OC me off of it. But you were saying that you want to make a charge, a demon on demon charge.
Yes.
Which gets you off of that objective.
It would.
So you have to kill the drone because it's got an OC of 3. I don't know if you... And you've got Chosen there. They've got 1 each, OC each. So I feel like I need to Overwatch the Chosen. It went really well last turn. And by that, I mean it didn't go well. I only got 3 hits. This time I got 5, which is many more than last turn. This does wound on 2s, though. And it is 5 up saves because of contagions and things.
This is fine. Well.
And that leaves the Sorcerer as the last man standing. The Chosen have been completely removed. Now we're on to the Obliterators. The Obliterators are going to fire at this unit of Chosen Space Marines right out in the open. Dark Pact.
Oh, fails.
3 wounds, yeah. 1's on 4 already, and he goes down to 2 wounds remaining.
Okay, so we're going to go for the Ruinous Salvo, which is the sort of mid-tier blasting weapon. It's D6 each with blast. Damage 2, so I think that's probably the right call.
2d6 plus 2 to this with the blast then. See number of shots. 10 shots. 3s to hit.
3s to hit and 6s explode.
Yep. Strength 8, 3s to wound. -2, 2 damage, so 5s mean 3 of the Plague Marines get wiped out. Yeah. Then the Rhino plinked into the same Plague Marines as well, took a wound off. Rhino recovered a wound in the command phase.
It did, cool. The humble Rhino.
It also failed its battle shock test.
It did.
It's got no CR 0 right now.
It is true.
We're on to Akesh, Demon Prince, firing at the Plague Marines. Wants to charge Fluffy, wants to fire at the Plague Marines with the Infernal Bolter. 2s to hit.
2s to hit.
We've got 2 hits.
Strength 5. So
toughness 5. No wounds.
No.
Okay. So the Sorcerer will call on the powers of the warp and target the drone.
So Dark Pacting?
Yep. Dark Pact passed, and then D6 shots with exploding hits. So number of shots for 3 shots.
3 shots.
He's hit on 3s. 6s explode. There's 3 hits at least.
Indeed.
But it's going to be 5s to wound. It is a tough old drone.
Yeah. Ooh, 0-1.
It did hit, so battle shock test, which I pass. Then moving down into this ruin here where Referbius, aka Cypher, putting all his weapons into this last remaining Plague Marine on 1 wound.
So we'll do this plasma profile first.
Okay.
Hitting on 2s.
Yes.
It gets sustained naturally.
Okay.
So that's
brilliant. So that's 5 hits out of 3 shots. I like it.
Strength 8.
3s to wound. 3, 5 up saves. I'm dead many times over.
Nah.
Moving around here, the Hellbrute has a shot, firing under the archway into the drone in the back. 3s to hit the drone.
I will Dark Pact.
Okay, Dark Pacting it up first then. 2d6. That
He's
passes.
Okay. So I'm going to go for the Nurgle with sustained hits.
Okay.
Because he's got the marker Nurgle, it means he gets both lethal and sustained on 5.
Nice, okay. So looking for the 5s. There we go. So those auto wound, and then you get 2 hits which you'd roll to hit.
Put the lower side, and then wounding on strength 9.
Toughness 9.
So 4s to wound. So
2
only the 2
wounds
that
come through. 2 5-up demon saves. I make 1 fail 1.
It is D6.
It is in melt range as well.
Is, so
D6 plus 2.
For the mighty.
6, and it was on 6 wounds remaining. That is a dead drone. It doesn't blow up, and you've taken the tempting target. The sorcerer may have lost the chosen bodyguard, but definitely claiming the target below the archway there. Now, the last thing left to fire is the Land Raider. Heavy guns, las cannons coming into this crawl around here. But the Heavy Bolter and the Havoc Launcher can see and can fire down into this unit of Plague Marines.
I'm going to go for the Dark Pact as well.
Nice.
I'm going to go for the sustained hits because
Nice.
the Nurgle mark.
And that passes.
He's okay. Going for las cannons first. 5s will generate more hits.
Yep. Oh,
Ooh.
just one hit.
Just the 1.
Wounds on a 3.
It does wound.
See, you think you're Nurgle. You merely adopted Nurgle. I was born in the Nurgle, moulded by it.
You have the right of it.
And I failed my 5 off invulnerable save. D6 plus 1 damage.
6 plus 1 for the mighty.
4. It's on 8 remaining. The small arms fired into the Plague Marines, killing 1 of them, and that is the end of the shooting phase. And you've killed 2 things. You killed the drone. You killed the last Plague Marine who was stood on his own round there. Now we're going on to the charge phase. We've got Possessed that want to try and charge this drone over here. They failed last turn. Let's see if they can make this charge. Looks like a 7 or 8 to me.
Although I might change my mind and go for the tactical squad, if that's okay.
Go for the squad?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I think that he's the shooty one, isn't he? Or is he the choppy one? He's the shooty one. So yeah, is that okay just to go for that?
Of course you can.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that then.
Yeah.
I'll roll, I'll measure, and we'll see how we get on.
7 looks good enough to
I think
me.
it should be okay.
Yep, that's more than enough. The Possessed make it there with the pile-in. They'll all definitely get into close combat. And then we have some demon-on-demon action.
Yes.
Can you make a 4-inch charge?
Can
Without
I
a
make a
CP
4-inch
roll?
Well, I'm known for it, but let's see.
That's
They're
a
okay.
7. They're in. It's Nurgle's number. Nurgle wanted it. Then round on the left flank, the Obliterators charged into the Mephitic Blightcrawler. I only have 1 CP. I can't interrupt. So let's fight. So because I'm not interrupting, we did the fight over here. You put 1 more wound on my thing. I didn't put any wounds on you. You have stolen that objective off of me. Now we're coming to the Possessed. 4 attacks each.
Yes.
Into the Plague Marines. You are Dark Pacting it up.
Going to go for the Dark Pact and go for sustained hits because they have the Mark of Slanesh.
Okay.
Proc on 5s.
And you pass. So hit on 3s, 5s explode. Kaboom boom.
Oof. Okay, so strength 5.
Right.
So 4s to wound, but any 6s because they did a Dark Pact will be devastating wounds.
Nice. 4s. And there's a few 6s. 4 are dead so far with the devastating wounds. The rest need 4-up saves. 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 1 minute. I only had 6 Plague Marines left, so you do wipe out the squad. Then you consolidate into the tank, and I did the fight backs into the tank. No wounds caused. And now we come on to the main event.
Ooh, here we go.
Hot demon-on-demon action. So Akesh is enacting demonic destruction.
That is right.
10 dice.
10 dice for how many wounds she has ultimately, so it
Yep.
drops as she gets more wounded. But
Yep.
each 4 up on the charge on 1 unit does a mortal wound.
Do a battle shock, it goes off on 3s or something?
That's the enhancement. That's at the
Right,
end.
okay.
Yeah.
So 4s. So a maximum of 6 more wounds. And she does 3 on the
3
way
more
in.
wounds.
Fluffy's on 7 wounds remaining, rolling for a Dark Pact. And that passes. 6 attacks hitting on 2s, going for lethal hits here. And there's a lethal, but 2 misses.
Ooh.
See, the thing is, Fluffy's quite chonky because you need 5s to wound with those other blows. So good luck. Ooh. And that is 2 wounds. 3 damage a time, right?
3 damage a time.
And he's got 7 left. So he's not going to die. 4 up invulnerable save. And he's down to 4 wounds remaining.
So he will not die for 7.
And he gets to strike back. Fluffy's got an extra attack because he's got a deadly pathogen. He's got the Rona. He hits you on a 2s. He misses a bunch of times. Strength 8.
You're against toughest 9.
I wound you 3 times. 3 at -2. But all demonic saves coming up.
All demonic saves.
And you take 3 damage as well. The battle continues. You're on 7 wounds. I'm on 4 wounds, but then she explodes at the end of combat as well.
She explodes because she's got the Nagel enhancement, which is the orb of the unclean, I think it was called.
Big smelly fart.
Yeah.
Only hitting Fluffy.
Yes.
You need a 4, right?
It would normally be a 4, because she made a dark pact this turn, it becomes a 3 up.
Nice, okay.
So let's have a look.
And that's a stinky explosion. How many mortal wounds does she do?
3 mortal wounds.
Brilliant.
For the mighty 1.
He's on 3 remaining. She's on 7 remaining. And this fight in the centre continues. At the end of turn 3 for the Sovereign of Shadows, they get their 5 points for tempting targets and also another 5 points for engage on all fronts, which gets them up to 42 points. I'm only going to pick up 4 points on the primary, so it'll be 42 to 26 as we go on to Death Guard turn 3. The Chaos Space Marines are running away with it on points, but they're running out of assets. And my orders are to defend my stronghold until the end of the Chaos Space Marines turn and extend battle lines, and the Chaos Space Marines killed 3 units. So if I want those extra points, I need to kill 4? So I'm losing by a lot. I'm losing by 14 points. But if I kill a Terminator on 1 wound and a Sorcerer over here on his own, and also take out that Rhino, then I've killed 3 things, you've killed 3 things, and the plan is for the Chaos Space Marines to charge through and get the Rhino on the other side, and then I take that objective as well.
Yes.
That's kill 3 things. Not backing out of close combat with the demon. No. What we are going to do is defend Stronghold here. I've got an OC of 8 around it, and fire everything, because it's a monster in close combat into your demon. We can do that. We can plunge firepower down instead. Not too worried about the possessed scrabbling at the side of a tank for now. Over here, I've OC'd you off that objective as well. Blitz with an OC of 2. Both of my drones OC of 3. So I am controlling that one. I don't think that drone's going to be shooting anything, though. It's out of range of everything. I can't shoot into them from that drone, but I can from the other one. And then in the backfield, the unit of strategic reserves. I've been sneaky, and I don't know why you didn't smell them coming. But maybe they were down in the sewers and have just dragged themselves up, and they want to start pressuring the home field objective for the Chaos Space Marines. So we'll start the shooting phase here. Here is all the bubotic bolters, and they all hit, and that one's lethal, but you're not in contagion range yet. So these wound on 4s, and you do get a full armor save on all that lot. And a kill 1.
Kill 1 and wound another.
And then Overcooking Plasma only hits once and wounds once, and that'll be a 5-up save because cover is a thing. And you're okay. And then the Blight Launcher hits once and doesn't wound. And then Hazardous on the Plasma. See, you haven't lost any guys to Plasma.
As a Dark Angels player, I'm very impressed. It's really good.
So we're going to move from one corner of the battle grid all the way down to the other corner of the battle grid and put Plasma at point blank range into this Terminator on 1 wound remaining. Obviously overcooking, even though I don't need to. I don't need to overcook, actually.
Not really, no.
No, because it all wounds on 3s and it's all 4-up and vulnerable save, and if you fail 1, he's dead.
Oh.
He's not dead yet. Okay, Blight Launcher. Blight Launcher, that hits and wounds?
Yes.
1 wound. 1 wound, it's a 4-up save again because of contagions. Okay, some bolters then.
That's actually done with blades at this rate.
Bolters will be fine. The bolters will be fine. That's lethal. Yes. That wound on a 4. That's 2 wounds, and those are 2 3-up saves because of contagions and things.
What was the strength of the bolter?
No,
it's down to 5. You're correct.
Yeah, your toughness drops.
Nagel decays. And he's dead.
And melts and decays and ruins him. Welcome to the end of all things. That's 1 kill so far. Kill number 2, plunging fire from Space Marines down into your Sorcerer. I say Space Marines, they're very smelly Space Marines. This is the Plasma, and it doesn't wound. And then Hazardous checks, doesn't do anything. Blight Launcher hits both of the times. You are in contagion range. Wounds both of the times. So those are, you've got cover, so 4-up saves on them. And you make the saves. Then the bolt of fire came in, you failed 2 of those saves. The sorcerer is on 2 wounds remaining, and the heavy light launcher is going to fire straight down the street and shoot him in the face.
Ooh.
And that one's lethal, those 3. So that many wounds, -2 becomes, you've got cover. So basically 4-up saves, 4-up saves. You have to make 3 4-up saves, you have to make them all though.
To try and save a life.
Dead. Death, ruin and stench, 2 dead units, and now we're shooting tanks into this thing. Unfortunately, can't fire the blast from the tanks because blast is blast and you're in close combat. So the blast from both of the tanks can go up and over and into your Space Marines in the backfield. So I'm going to do it all together. It's basically this number of shots plus 6 from both of the tanks, or adding the tanks together. 3 each, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. 4's to hit, 6 is lethal.
It's in there might be a chance.
Yeah, that many wounds. You get 3-up saves and cover, I think. 2 though, die in the explosions. Yeah, 2 damage each, and then we do the 4 entropy cannons at the same time into your demon. 4s. I hit once. Strength 10, but your reduced toughness means that's a wound.
Strength 10, yes, it is.
4-up invulnerable save. And you make it. Stubby guidance fired in, did nothing. The crawler not in combat can't see you, so the crawler could, don't want to shoot the rhino, need to use the rhino as a charge, so that one isn't shooting. The one that is in combat can shoot the obliterators that we're in combat with. Here's a multi-melter. One of them hits, and it wounds. Invulnerable save or death at this range. Death. And then the missile launcher misses. And that's the end of the shooting phase. Damage caused everywhere, but your demon's still alive and is probably going to get through Fluffy in close combat. And you still have the possessed here. You still have a stratagem which can allow you to bring back an obliterator, but we need to charge. We're going to charge with these Plague Marines into the Rhino.
Yes.
Basically, I want to try and get onto the central objective. And with a 10, I'll definitely be on the central objective. And then round here, it was a 9-inch charge, but it looks like it's a really long way now. But let's roll up anyway. That's definitely going to be a failed charge. And we end up like this. Now, I need to kill the Rhino. Yes, this will do. This will fine. She can still explode. This will be fine. Everything will be fine. Let's hit a Rhino. Heavy plague weapons on 4s. 6s are lethal. And then this drops your toughness down. So these wound on 4. Okay, that many wounds. And those are 6-up saves because of the modifiers. And that will be 6 damage. And it does kill the Rhino. Does it blow up? No, it just gets collapsed. So I've killed 4 things. You've only killed 3 things.
Yes.
But defenders get to fight back.
Oh, yes.
And you have a demon versus demon. And mine's only on 3 wounds remaining. No, 1 minute. I've only killed 3 things. And if you kill Fluffy, you'd have killed 4 things. Dark Pacting it up then. See how she does. She passes a Dark Pact. So you can have lethal or sustained.
Gotta go with lethal, I think.
Lethals, okay. 2s to hit, 5s auto wound. Good luck.
I'm going to spend the CP. It's going to be on basically to reroll 1s to hit.
Okay.
1s to wound.
Okay. And 1s to wound. I like it. 2s. Rerolling any 1s. Those 6s are lethal.
There's tough parts. Need to get 5 to try and crack through.
Good luck. We have 4 wounds. I think Fluffy is not long for this world. He's definitely not long for this world. Even if I CP reroll it, it won't keep him alive. He dies. And a hero of Nurgly Imperium falls. But that's fine. It's fine. We've got a few more demons up our sleeve. Anyway, she explodes at the end of the combat on a 3. She's going to hit the drone. She hits the drone and does D3 wounds to the drone for 1. And on a 3, she's going to hit the Plague Marines behind her. And this will do D3.
Another 1.
And 1 was injured, so 1 falls. So at the end of turn 3, I've started defending my stronghold, and I have extended my battle lines for an extra 5 points. But at the end of turn 3, the Chaos Space Marines have killed more units than me, so it's 50 points to 37 at the end of turn 3. However, I've definitely got a lot more footprint on the table. There's still the Obliterator here, there's still a Demon on 7 wounds, this untouched unit of Possessed. We need to do this combat between Possessed and the tank. We'll do that off camera in a minute. And the Land Raider is still relatively untouched. However, you do have problems in your backfield. and only 2 Chaos Space Marines holding on to that home field objective. As we go into Chaos Space Marines, turn 3. 4. It's 4. The Sovereign of Shadows also pick up 4 points on the primary, so it's 54 to 37. And they need to defend their stronghold. That's going to be tough with a unit of Plague Marines coming down towards them and assassinate the last character from the End of All Things. Right, here we are partway into the movement phase. These guys staying still, trying to defend their stronghold, and you try to run the Hellbrute round the corner of this ruin, and there's the one that you rolled.
Yes, it didn't get very far.
However, you've got 2 CP in your hand, and you're spending one of them for skin shift or something, which allows you to put an obliterator back in.
Yes, because he's got the mark of Zinch, it allows one more to go
on full wounds.
On full wounds, it just
and
says,
then for the second CP, you're going back to that Quicksilver Swiftness or whatever it's called, which
yes,
allows
natural swiftness it is.
The possessed to fall back and charge.
Yes.
And there is a character down here in the middle, my Foul Blightspawn, which your demon's going to charge. So the possessed fall back, the Land Raider rumbles down the street, and it's going to fire its las cannons in at this mephitic Blightcrawler down here. If you kill it, it will free up the obliterators to shoot.
Yes.
And then the anti-infantry fire will rattle along the ruins up here.
So
Not dark bacting, hitting on 4s because I am in combat.
Yes.
And 1 hits.
Need a 3, I believe.
And it wounds. 5+ invulnerable save, which I fail. I'm going to spend a CP on that because I don't think there's anything else coming into this, and I really don't want your obliterators firing. And I fail.
Ooh.
So it's D6 + 1. If you roll a 1, it's still alive. You don't roll a 1, it dies. It doesn't blow up. Then the Land Raider managed to take out one of the Plague Marines with small arms. Demon Princess Agesh managed to take out Plague Marine around here with her small arms. Very small arms, like a T-Rex. And then we're on to the obliterators, and you're going to fire at the drone.
Yes.
Okay. How much?
3 shots each.
Right.
I will dark pact as well.
Okay, let's roll for that first. Dark pact passes.
We'll go for exploding hits on this.
Nice. 2d3 shots.
For the mighty, hitting on 3s.
Yes. 6s explode, so they all hit in the end. 3s to wound. You have 5 wounds. 5 up demon saves. I fail them all, and that's like 15 damage or something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Dead drone, which doesn't blow up either. We haven't had any explosions yet. Apart from 1 more wound put on the Plague Marines in the backfield, that is the end of the shooting phase. So now we're on to the charge phase. Your Demon Princess cannot fail that charge in the middle.
No.
But the possessed want to run up and around and try and engage the Plague Marines. Let's roll 2d6 and see how far they manage to go.
Oh, I don't think that's enough.
And a 3 is definitely a failed charge, and you don't have any CP
I've got no CP, so they're just standing there beating the chests and hoping for the best.
Okay. Do you want to put these into that one more time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we'll have a go.
Stops them getting shot by everything
I suppose
else.
so, yeah. So,
And
they can't make it, yeah.
The obliterators are in. Now we're on to the fight phase. Demonic Destruction. Your demon explodes again.
So looking for 4 ups.
Yes. And that is 4 mortal wounds. That Plague Marine's dead, and my Noxious Blightbringer is down to 2 wounds remaining. And then she swings a great big sword of doom.
Yes.
And she's going to hit on 2s with 6 attacks. And hit 5 times. Winning on 3s, I am a Plague Marine.
That is true. Ooh.
And I need a bunch of good saves. And that isn't a bunch of good saves. You assassinate. Kill that character. She stands victorious next to the archway. Then we came on to the obliterators fighting my drone, and 5 wounds came through. 5 invulnerable saves. That is 6 wounds off my drone. It's on 4 remaining. Then the vehicle fought back, putting 2 wounds on one of the obliterators, and that's the end of turn 4. And you get an extra 5 points, getting up to 59 points to 37. But I am defending my stronghold over here, so it'll be 59 points to 40. Which means I'm 19 points behind. And he killed 3 things. You killed the drone, you killed the unit with my character and the character itself. So I need to kill 3 things as well. I also need to stop you defending your stronghold, which should be relatively easy. There's just 7 Plague Marines here with your 2 Chaos Space Marines. Just 1 successful charge would be very good. And I've got a couple of CP to play with. But what will the orders be in Plague Marines? Turn 4. 1 minute, I picked up 4 points in the primary as well for objectives. 44, 59, and 15 points behind, and I need area denial. So I've got to kill that demon and bring it down. So I've got to kill that demon. 1 minute. To get area denial, I've got to get a unit wholly in range of the centre, and I can't do that. So let's draw another card instead. Assassinate!
Oh.
Kill a demon. That cost me a CP to draw, though. There's a little melee going on in the backfield with the end of all things, trying to preach the word down here and stop you defending your stronghold. That's going to happen over here. I pulled the crawler out because I didn't want you killing it in close combat. If you want to kill it, you have to shoot it or do something to it instead. These guys can lend some firepower down into the obliterators, however. Then down in the middle, I'm going to send in Plague Marines against those possessed. That'll be fine. If I can take out 5 Plague Marines with 7 possessed, I can take out 5 possessed with 7 Plague Marines. That's the plan. And then I've got to shoot everything at your Demon Prince in the middle of the table. Firing everything from this tank in, you're spending your only CP on Dark Obscuration.
That's the one, just to make it a -1 to hit, and you've got to be within 12.
Force to hit with Entropy Cannons. They both miss. The Mortar adds 3 to this. And this will hit on 4s and wound on 5s. 1 wound at -1. And you make the save. Then I fired the Heavy Slugger in. It bounced onto tank number 2. Heavy Slugger already done. Already bounced. Here's the mortar. Oh dear. Only 4 shots with the mortar. No. We get that number of hits anyway, you see.
Yes.
5s to wound. Don't get any wounds. Entropy Cannons? This is for all the marbles. 4s to hit. I fail. I have to CP reroll. I fail. 2 tanks firing point blank range in at her. No damage caused whatsoever. And I can't fire the drone in because you can't target her if she's more than 12 inches away with your strat. So the drone is instead just firing at the possessed right in front of the tanks. And their toughness is reduced, so I'm wounding them on 4s with 4-up saves. And they're good as well. Okay. Plague Marines hosing them down. Bolters. Wound on 4s because of contagion. 2 wounds. 2 4-up saves. Okay.
2 wounds.
Nice. I've injured one already. Let's do some overcooking plasma. That all hits. This will wound on 2s. They have demonic saves, right?
Just need the 5-ups.
Yes.
Keep save lives.
Okay, you're still good. Here's the plague. It misses. It misses. It misses. All that happens is one's down to 1 wound remaining.
Yeah.
I've got to do the hazardous check. That passes. Then I fired with this squad in it, the obliterators. Hazardous check on the plasma passes, and I get 1 down to 1 wound remaining. Then we're going to fire in the bolters from that squad, and no lethals there, and no wounds. And then the blight launcher hits once and doesn't wound. So at the end of that combat, I've put a shooting phase. I've put an obliterator down to 1 wound, a possessed down to 1 wound, and that's it. And I haven't assassinated, and I haven't got bring it down. I haven't done any of the things. So instead we're going to charge Plague Marines trying to stop you defending this stronghold, and that's a 10, and they're angry. We make it into terrain. We've captured the flag. I'm going to come over here. The tank is going to charge possessed, because tank shock is a thing. And I make it in. And then the Plague Marines are also going to charge the possessed. They can't really fail, but they go 9. So at the end of the charge phase, it looks like this. Let's tank shock with my armoured tracks, looking for 5s. And 1 was injured, so that kills the injured guy.
As well.
Kills the injured guy. So 1 possessed gets run over by the tank, squish. Then I did the fights with the tank, nothing happened. Now we're on to the Plague Marines, and I'm spending a CP on Sanguious Flux, so 6s explode. So 6s explode and are lethal. It feels very Chaos Space Marine-y. Here's the guys with all their Plague Knives, and I'm going to need 4s to wound. Then a chunk of 4-up saves. 1 damage a time. Sorry, yeah, the Humble Plague Knife just kills 2. Then the heavy plague weapons, and there's some more explosions and lethal, so they're lethal, they explode back in. This is 2s to wound. That number of 5-up demonic saves on your possessed.
Let's see if we can save some lives.
And another one bites the dust, and 1 is on 1 wound. Oh no, 1 minute, it's -2, so that kills 1 and another one. The Plague Marines clear the squad, and I've made sure that at the end of the fight phase, I'm not within 6 inches of her for an exploding fart to hurt any of my dudes. That cost me all my CP. And there's hardly any Chaos Space Marines down here anymore. But you're definitely winning the war. Now we're coming all the way to the backfield where I'll rinse and repeat with 7 Plague Marines fighting these 2 Space Marines down here. Then a few Plague Fists later, the unit in the backfield get wiped out. And so at the end of turn 4, I haven't achieved any of my secondaries. I haven't brought it down and I haven't assassinated anyone. So I don't get any points. It's still 59 points to 44. We're on the same number of objectives when we go into the next thing because you've got that one and that one. No, you've got 3.
Got 3 haven't I?
1, 2, 3. And I've only got 1. And at the end of turn 4, you killed more units than me for extra points as we go into Chaos Space Marines. Turn 5. Picking up 8 points for killing more and 8 points for being on more objectives. The Sovereign of Shadows are now up to 75 points to my 44, but it's fine. The End of All Things have the last actions of the game. However, here are the last orders for the Chaos Space Marines. They want to extend battle lines, and in order to do that, they need to hold on to their home objective. And they haven't got that anymore. And get behind enemy lines. That one should be easy. So get behind enemy lines is the order. So the Land Raider achieves it, and I guess your Dim Princess, she'll also achieve it. But the line runs down at the weird diagonal, so she needs to charge into them round that way, and then she'll get it as well, wiping out them. The Obliterators have moved round this way, and the last unit, well, you've got Not Cypher hanging on to that objective.
Yeah, Thaddeus himself is just being cowardly. Well, not cowardly, tactical. He's being tactical, sorry.
Tactical.
Tactical.
Yeah, I like
very
it.
Tactical. Very subterfuge.
He's tactically repositioned down into the corner of a building. And this Hellbrute needs to make like an 8-inch charge or something to get round the edge of the ruin to engage them and hopefully kill them for extend battle lines. It can shoot its multi-melter through the windows, though, as we go into the shooting phase. Not Dark Pacting, 2 shots hitting on 3s. And 1 hits, and 1 will wound on a 3. 1 wounds, I need a 6 because of ruins and things. No, and that will kill 1. Heavy Flamer.
For this amount of hits?
Hits 6 times.
Okay.
Wound on 4s. And wounds twice with ruins. I'm okay, 1 gets injured. 6 Plague Marines remain on the Chaos Space Marine objectives. Where are we going to next?
We'll go for the Obliterators next.
Okay, firing at...
I'm just going to fire at the distant Plague Crawler. That's okay with the heavy shots.
Okay, 2d3 shots. Are you Dark Pacting?
We will.
Okay.
We are going to Dark Pact, so we'll see if that works.
That works.
Okay.
And then number of shots. For 5 shots. 3s to hit. 6s explode. There's an explosion. There's 2 explosions. So in the end... 6 hits out of 5 shots. Wounding on 3s. And we have 4 wounds. And 5 up and vulnerable saves. And each does 4 damage, right? So that is a dead tank. Mind you, it's AP minus... Oh no, there is no cover. That's good. Yeah, it's definitely a dead tank. And that one doesn't blow up either. Alright, last big guns. The Land Raider. What we do with the Land Raider?
Yes. It's just going to put both... 1 last cannon to this, 1 last cannon to that.
Okay.
And all in concentrate. Well, bolters, normal bolter, and then the havoc.
Split and fire always works then.
It always works, it does.
Okay, yeah. You Dark Pacting?
No.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
Land Raider, split and fire. There's the 2 last cannons into this one. Both of them hit.
Strength 12, so wounding on 3s, I believe.
And both of them wound. And I failed both of the saves. 2d6 plus 2 to this. That is 9 damage.
9 damage.
I think they have 10 wounds. It does have 10 wounds. It's got 1 left, but you would put in the rest of the...
Yeah. So we'll do the heavy bolter next.
Yes.
Hits twice. Wounds on probably... What's the toughness?
5s. Toughness 9. Twin linked.
Does get the reroll.
1 wound. -1. The drone's okay. And then we have the bolters.
Hits once.
Does wound.
He's okay.
And that's okay. And then 2 lance cannons were coming into the tank.
Yes.
And they hit on 3s. And they both wound. Hit. And they both wound on 3s. Nice shooting. And the 5 up and bun, I fail. And this is d6 plus 1 on the tank.
You can't kill it.
And it's down to 3 wounds remaining. So 1 dead tank, 1 injured tank, 1 drone down to 1 wound remaining. Then you went charging into the Plague Marines over here. And then the Hellbrute needs an 8 to charge the Plague Marines on your home field objective. Good luck. And that's a 5. You do have a CP.
I will use that CP now.
Okay. And that's a 5. That's a failed charge. So this is the only charge of the turn. Demonic Destruction goes off first of all. 4s do mortal wounds. And that's a couple of mortal wounds. Then she does the big swing. 2s to hit. And he missed twice.
I do indeed.
And at strength 8.
So it'll be 3s to wound.
3s to wound, yeah. And he wound 3 times. And he 5-up saves. You only killed 2. Well, 3 including the explosion. Then the Plague Marines pile in and fight back. 1 Plague Knife auto wounds. The other 1 auto wound. -1. Or your armor is dropped down. Nope, you're good.
Okay.
And then heavy. The heavy things. These need 4s. I get a lethal.
Wow.
But I need 5s to wound. So only 1 wound. And she keeps making invulnerable saves. At the end of the 5 phase, she does an explosion thing. Explosive fire on a 3.
On a 4, because he didn't die back this time.
Yep, and this will do D3 extra mortal wounds. And that kills 1, puts 1 down to 1 wound remaining, and that's the end of turn 5 for the Chaos Space Marines. Now the Chaos Space Marines don't get extend battle lines, but they do get behind enemy lines for a final score of 80 points. And they're currently on 2 objectives. I'm on 2 objectives, but I think I control mine, score mine at the end of the thing. Need to look at the mission thing. Yes, I do score at the very end. So if I do manage to outscore you by, say, for example, driving onto that objective there or something like that, I can get my 8 points, but then I need to kill more. Let's say I get both my 8 points for killing more and getting onto objectives. That'll get me up to 60 points to your 70. And even if I pick up 10 points on the secondaries, there's no coming back for the end of all things at this stage. In fact, I kept Assassinate and Bring It Down in my hand because I really want to kill that demon. So even though I lost a movement waddles round and kept rolling dice, because we like rolling dice, that's what we're here for, and I tried to kill a demon. She's on 2 wounds left.
It came close. She came close.
Just would not die. And then we racked up all the points for killing more or holding on to objectives and all of those sorts of things. And I ended up on 56, you ended up on 84. So with the painting standard, 66 points to the end of all things. And 94 points to the Sovereign of Shadows. I don't think I've made a new convert to our lovely religion this day. Huh. I wanted to show Injun the power of the end of all things, but it turns out when you bring an unkillable demon who just won't keep making saves. I know she's a fan of Nurgle, but really Tzeentch kept her safe as well. And I feel I didn't do too badly. I mean, the Chaos Space Marines have got 5 units left. They've got 1 fella here and the Hellbrute. And then these guys, and they're just, you don't have that much left. And I've got the tank and the drone and the Plague Marines and the Plague Marines and some more Plague. Mind you, I haven't got much left either. So, yeah, how did that happen?
I think it was more the cards were my favourite thing today, because every sort of objective that I got, I was just happened to be in the right position, or everything just sort of fell really right in that department. Because I thought, like, turn 2, I thought it was looking really good for you. Yeah. And then just, yeah, from turn 3, I think I just made the saves when I need to. So it's a game of cards and dice, really. Well, sometimes it's the dice gods, sometimes it's the card gods. I mean, you play with your group every now and then. Have you found that before? The card gods sometimes do the card god things? It's the only way I ever win is with the card god, honestly. It's the only chance I ever have, honestly. So, yeah. But yeah, no, it happens. Sometimes you play the perfect games and sometimes it just doesn't work out because combination of dice and sometimes the objectives. I definitely didn't play the perfect game, but what I did try to do is stop you from pushing through to the other side, but you did. You managed to break on through with unit after unit after unit, and there was a lot of tit for tat, wasn't there, for the objectives? Like we were just trading, which quite enjoyable. I felt like I was running out as I was trying to trade, but then I think just fortune came in the end with the saves. And I was trying to apply the pressure with Fluffy and stuff. I'm a bit disappointed in Fluffy right now, you know. I gave him the extra attack and strength and everything, and he didn't take down your demon. Yeah. The men of the match for me are the Plague Marines. Oh, yeah, units of Plague Marines with a few little tricks inside. They can hurt. They can hurt. Oh yeah, I mean that was quite a blow. Losing the Terminators to them, it was I'm impressed. It was good.
It's the second time I've thrown 7 Plague Marines into Unit 5 Terminators and wiped them out both times.
And funny enough, I watched that, so you think...
You saw that one?
You think I would have learnt my lesson. You think, oh, well, I've seen them do that, but no, surely it was a one-off. No, it was impressive work.
They'll be fine down there. But yeah, I mean, you failed a bunch of charges. I made a bunch of my charges, but in the end, it's a game of dice, it's a game of charts, and it's a game of cards. And in the end, the Sovereign of Shadows have destroyed the end of all things. But were you impressed by any of our power, any of our teachings, or any of our... Have you read the pamphlet?
They've looked at the pamphlets. They've acknowledged, if anything, I think they would have admired the strength of the end of all things, and they might try and call on a favour at some point. Maybe could become allies at least at the end, even if they don't necessarily follow the word of the end of all things.
Okay, all right. Well, you can join us in the book club on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Sounds very good.
There's free tea and biscuits. It's at the community round the back of the Liddles, the community centre. So We'll see you there. It's a very stinky place round the back of the Liddles in Swindon Community Centre. You'll know it.
I'll smell it.
You'll smell it out. It'll be fine. We do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.